Alright guys, I know you saw the post this past week about me making a video about depression. And I know as soon as you hear the word depression, everything automatically just gets sad. And I don't want it to be about that during this video. I want this video to be as inspiring and hopeful as possible. I want to make it a positive thing and not exactly focusing on the negative so much. Now, I really wanted to take time and focus on the points that I'm making as far as, just advice about getting out of depression and avoiding depression to begin with. Now, personally, and I'll just share this, I've had my own bouts with depression, and I know that there are people out there that may have dealt with this on a heavier level than I have. I was not on medication to deal with depression. But there was a very dark period in my life as far as depression and just not being able to really function. And I've been to that side, and I understand what it feels like to just not be able to function like a normal human being because of what's going on inside your head and what's going on inside your body. It's also, it's not just a mental state. It also affects your neuromuscular system, and it really just it shuts your body down. Now, guys, I know that, like I said, I know this is a very sad and dark topic, and I'm just gonna go ahead and share my beliefs on this. And I mean, I know not everybody believes the way I do, but when I was dealing with my bouts of depression, I believe wholeheartedly that only through the power of my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ that I was able to come out of it. But I don't want to just be the guy to come on here and throw a couple of Bible verses at you and say have a nice day and just expect you to run with that. Because even though I believe that I was pulled out by Jesus Christ, that there is a human element to it. It still took me calling on his name to actually get something to start working. It was on my shoulders to do that. And, I want to be able to add in a human element here and actually understand and, be able to relate to everyone as far as being able to get out of depression and avoid depression. So, I'm not just going to throw some Bible verses at you and leave. I'm actually going to talk about things that you can do as a person, whether you believe or not, that you can help avoid and pretty much just come out of depression. Now, I can't exactly speak for every case. This is just advice. And, that's one thing I want you to know about all of these videos is that this is advice. And I know that this may not work for every single person, and I understand that, and I want everybody to know that. And, I understand that there are going to be different cases that some of these things may not work for them. And I can't exactly help that. I come on here and I post these videos to help people. I can't help everyone every time. And, I just want everybody to know that I'm trying my best. And so the tips that I give you today are meant to be something to help you get past this. If you're in it right now, or if you feel like you're getting there, to help you avoid it and just obliterate it altogether. Now, the first tip is expressing your feelings. I know that in my experience with depression that there was a lot of just I can't really explain the feelings per se, but and a lot of you that have dealt with this understand what I'm feeling. Sometimes you just can't express what you're actually feeling, but when I was able to sit down and talk my feelings out with someone, I actually understood a little bit more about how I actually felt and what was causing my depression. And I realized that doing that was really beneficial to me. And again, this may not be beneficial to every person, but it was something that was helpful to me. And I feel like the fact that I've dealt with something similar, maybe not on the same scale, but I have dealt with depression, that this is actually a helpful thing. And I think that's where it starts. is being able to talk to someone that you trust, someone that actually understands where you're coming from, and get those feelings out on the table. Because the longer you hold them inside, the more it builds up and the bigger the problem gets. And I know that if I would have held my feelings in for any amount of time past what I was already at, things could have gone much, much further into just that dark hole, having that dark cloud over your life. And that's one thing that really started to bring things to light to me, before I even had my divine intervention. Um, and that it's just really, really beneficial. Find that person, and if you don't have that person, I promise you, message me on Facebook, and I can't say that I will get to everybody, but I'm here for you, and I want you to succeed. I want you to come out of this. So, if you don't have my number, if you don't know me that personally, don't know me that well, message me on Facebook. I leave the information after every video. I'm here for you guys. That's why I make these videos. I'm helping people. I want to be here for you. And so, that's really where that comes into play. I will communicate with you. If you do not have one person in your life that you feel like you can talk to about this, I'm here for you. And I will try to help you the best way I can. I'm not saying I'm an expert on depression. I'm not. I don't work at a depression clinic. I don't work, on a hotline to talk people out of depression and to help them get past it. I'm not an expert, but I'm offering advice. So, to move into the next tip, it's going to build off of expressing your feelings and being able to get them out on the table. Once you get them out on the table, being able to recognize what the problem is, like what is actually causing you to feel this way. Now, there are a lot of feelings on the table that become, just very clouded and very, I can't even really say it. They just run together, and you just feel like you can't even sort them out. But once you get them on the table and you're able to kind of, just a little bit maybe, start to separate them, and you find the main problem that's causing this depression. Once you're able to kind of pinpoint how that's causing this depression, just, when you're in those situations and you finally get to that point, being able to figure out ways to get past that. Now, since this is such a broad spectrum and people get depressed over so many things, I can't exactly pinpoint a way to get past that as far as once you pinpoint what's actually causing it. But I'll give you an example. Like if your home situation is causing your depression, if you don't have a good relationship with your parents, there are things that you can do to help build that relationship, kind of bridge that relationship. Now, that also does include, the parents and the family being able to be a participant in this as well. And there are some people that their parents and their family just will not be accepting to them trying to open those lines of communication. And with that, there's just a lot of personal intervention that you have to have. And the first thing is, of course, getting that communication open and actually understanding your feelings, so that a way you can have a less negative look on what you're trying to do. And if you can keep a positive outlook, once you get past that negativity, being able to pinpoint it and turn it back toward yourself, having personal gratification. Even though there may be outside sources that are causing this, having that personal gratification and turning things upside down inside yourself first. This whole process is focused around you. You see what I'm saying? That's the big thing. Taking away the outside sources and breaking it down to where you as yourself are dealing with your problems and going through this process for yourself to have a healthier life, to have a better life. And that's one thing that I had to do myself, was once I got past that negativity and I actually found out that I wanted to get past my depression, that's where things were just opening up left and right. And I began to understand that, there were things that I was doing and, things that I was allowing into my life that were causing it. And, at the end of the day, there's a lot of things that we could cut out ourselves that, we could live so much better lives and have such less stress and just less things weighing down on us. And it's our decision. As people, we are individuals. We make our own decisions. And, although some circumstances are forced upon us, it's up to us how we accept it and how we perceive it. So sometimes you're in a situation where things will not change unless you change your perception on it. Unless you change your outlook, things will not change. And so that comes into personal accountability. And that leads into our next tip here is personal accountability. When you start to take responsibility for the decisions you make and the actions that you take towards certain things, you start to realize how your decisions have affected you. And that's such a pivotal thing in coming out of this. And guys, I know I'm rambling on here, but I mean it's such a broad term that really I can't cover every specific thing. I can't cover every specific situation. And guys, if this is something that we need to turn into a series, I'd be glad to do that. I will try my best. Like I said, I'm not an expert on depression. I can only go off of what I've been through and go off of my experiences and the things that have helped pull me out of it. So, guys, that's about all I have for the tips of getting past depression. The best thing I can say is there is a lot of human activity, a big human element that goes into this, and a personal element that goes into this. I've given you these 3 tips, but there's so many different situations that change on a day-to-day basis that you would have to take these 3 and work them into your own lives and be able to make them work for you in order for you to have success with it. I can't sit here and say that I have the answer to every person's depression, but I feel like in my own experience that these 3 things did help me come out of it and help me get to the point where I was able to call on Jesus' name and actually understand that I wanted to get out of it. And that's another big thing is you have to want to get out of it. I couldn't consider it a tip because it's pretty much common sense. You have to want to get out of it. You have to want it. And so when I went through and I talked about my feelings, I pinpointed my problem, and then I took personal accountability for the things that I was doing, personal accountability for my actions. And along that route, I realized that I wanted to get out of it, and that caused me to call on the only thing that could pull me out of it, which is what I believe. Not everybody believes the way I do, but still, it was the element of wanting to get out of it that helped me. Now, what happened after the fact, that's not for debate here. I'm really not coming on here to push my beliefs on anybody else. I'm just saying what got me to that point. If you feel like you can overcome the depression on your own and you don't believe the way I do, I understand completely. These tips are to get you to that point to want it. I want you guys to want to get out of this depression. I know how hard it is to just get that feeling back, to want to have life, to want to get out of that dark cloud. But guys, I promise you, these tips right here, they help me so much to get to the point where I wanted to get out. And as soon as you want it, you can do anything. You can do anything. And I promise you that. Now guys, that is all I have for this today. Like I said, if you want me to make a series on this, I will try my best. I will do it. And again guys, I'm extending the hand. If you need anybody to talk to, I'm here. I leave my information on these videos for a reason. Not for you to just follow, not for you just to be a fan. We're in this together, guys. We are. And I want you to know that. I want to be as open as I can with you. And so, I mean, honestly, if you need anything, just let me know. If you want to leave a comment down here below the video, like I always say, you can do that. Anything that you want to say. I'm willing and I'm open. I'm all ears. So, guys, I'm hoping that this really does help you. I know there's so many people out there that are dealing with this on different levels. And I want to be a ray of inspiration, a ray of hope to anybody who's going through this right now. So, guys, that's all I have for you right now, and we'll see you on the next video.